hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Glad you're here with me for our show where we talk comic books, we talk movies, we talk action figures, we talk my artwork, we talk my comic covers, and things of that nature, and just life in general. Two things we don't talk about are politics and religion, because everybody loses their damn minds when we talk about those two subjects. But as you see, it talks about the weather today. So, after clearing out the back 50 uh, feet of my new section of property back there that we didn't know existed until I talked to the neighbor, and he told me, hey, the property line actually goes farther back. I just haven't done anything with mine because it's overgrown. Well, after getting all that trash and the $600 dumpster bill, which, after calling multiple people and multiple sources, they're saying, no, it's what the ticket says. And I'm like, well, shit. Okay. Um, I wasn't expecting $600, on a roll off dumpster, which was an extra $300 on top of the rental price of the dumpster itself. But it's neither here nor there. It's going to get paid probably today. And it's just one of those things that comes as a shock. Well, now that I've got that property cleared and I'm ready to start putting in the garden because the pH in the soil is really great. It's between that 6 and 7 that they say that your soil needs to be for garden soil. Well, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. And uh, so my pH in the soil is between 6 and 7, where it's supposed to be, which I was kind of surprised. I tested several spots of the yard where the garden is going to be, and it was like, wow, I'm not going to have to do much back here at all. But I am going to be mixing in leaves. I am going to be mixing in other compost that I've got ready, that I have had ready for a while, and make it even richer than it is now. Now, for certain things like your berries and things of that nature, you want a low a lower acidic level in your soil. So, like for your blueberries, they like it about a 5.5. And if you're above 5.5, they usually don't grow as well. And that's what's wrong with one of my berry bushes right now. Is that I'm assuming that my acidity is not correct, so I'm gonna have to adjust that, get some nitrogen in that soil. But now that we've got that clear and ready to work on it, I'm not going to be able to work on it until like Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, just because the weather has taken a turn here in Arkansas. We are now in the tornado season. And the past 2 days, it's been raining, hailing, high winds. You name it, it's throwing it at us. Colder temperatures, um, and all that good stuff. And so to say that you want the rain to go away, you really don't, because you want the weather, because you need that water. And but on the same token, I would love to be working that property back there. I would love to be putting in the garden right now. It will be an in ground, so I'm not going to be working on any raised beds at this present juncture. Um, Now, as I build up that area even more, then I might decide to go ahead and do some raised beds and things of that nature. But right now, it's all going to be in ground. Um, it's going to be separated by the chicken run and where the garden space is. So we're looking forward to that. and looking forward to actually getting back there and tilling up the spot. um, but thank you everybody for being here. Welcome to the show. This is 412 Productions. I am your host, Monty Anderson here. And like, share, and follow. I mean, come on. We're all people. We all like to enjoy some entertainment. And this is hopefully entertaining to some people out there. I don't know if it's going to be to everybody, but to someone, it is an entertainment. Even if it's just my face and you laugh. I don't know. But no, we love to have fun here. And damn it, already out of water. Ugh. This is a blessing and a curse. I've got a little uh, paintbrush cleaner over here that my girlfriend got me for Christmas or just because, or I don't even remember when. But it gets to the point where it gets stuck and all my water runs out into the base down there. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Glad you're here. And we're talking about the weather right now. So, with all that, the I won't be able to touch the property until like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, just because it's supposed to be raining and just bad weather, all through the weekend. And then next weekend, Saturday, the 12th, I've got a military reunion for all of us that were in the same units, and we do this once a year, and I've missed the past 2 years um, due to other reasons. And now they're doing it on the 12th in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and that's where we'll be reuniting with some of our brothers in arms. And so that's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. And what else are we going to talk about today? We already talked about the $600 monstrosity here, right there. You can read it for yourself. It's not. This doesn't say $600, but that says $600 because you take away 1 ton that was already there, and that leaves you with 3.66 tons, which is nearly 10,000 pounds. Nearly 10,000 pounds right here, folks, was in that dumpster. Which a lot of people are calling BS on that, but that's what the landfill has as a ticket. Is nearly 10,000 pounds was put into that dumpster, which I still don't see it. 9,300 pounds is in that dumpster, and he struggled just a hair. I mean, literally just a hair getting that up on his skid of his trailer. But even some friends that do this for a living was like, no, there's no way. And I'm like, I'm agreeing with you. I don't see how we got 10,000 pounds because it's not like we just sat there and dumped a bunch of dirt into the dumpster. It was just basically skimming the surface. Which yes, I don't know how long all this stuff has been there, but I'm gonna guess it's probably been there since. Some of it had probably been there since the 70s. The house was built in the 60s, but a lot of it had already broken down into its finer component, which is why I've got such a good pH soil back there. And on that token, too, it's just like, yeah, there was some dirt in there, but there wasn't 10,000 pounds worth of dirt in there. But, it is what it is. The bill's going to get paid. Um, and on the flip side of that, got a blessing from another friend of mine who I hadn't talked to in a while. And they are wanting some logos done. So there you go. So I got some a commission work come in. I've got another commission work that's going to be coming in. Well, I've got two commission works that are going to be coming in. So that offsets the cost a little bit right there. And and so um yeah, it's going to be things are looking up a little bit with that. So, but no, it's all good. It was an unexpected bill. I knew we were prepared for the 325, which is the price of the dumpster rental itself. But we were thinking maybe, 75 to $150 extra, not $300 extra, you know. Because whenever they popped me with the bill of 599, it was like, holy shit, where did this come from? So I started asking some questions and asked for the landfill receipt and all that good stuff. And lo and behold, it's true that we put nearly 10,000 pounds in that dumpster. Now, the next thing is I got to get on this because I don't know when they're actually filming yet. They are doing a whole lot of new stuff, this company that I'm working with. But I am doing the voiceover for a bad guy character in a Power Rangers fan film. Um, and it's actually a series. And I'm hoping to do some more voices after that as well. But right now I'm doing Champ, and they switched the script on me because whenever they sent me the original script, it had the wrong wordage for the character that I'm playing and portraying. And so now I've got to redo some lines in my script here as I'll flippity flop through it for you. And so I'm actually looking forward to that. So, let me get over here real fast. So we went to a pawn shop and we went to an antique store. And in the antique, was it the antique store? No, 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 no. It was A to Z outlet for their food side, basically. They have a little bit cheaper side of the food stuffs. But we were there and we picked up a MREs is what we picked up. And then we went to a pawn shop just to look for a bolt for her car, for the girlfriend's car. I think it was a bolt for her car. No, 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 no. It was a socket. It was a socket to get her lug nut off because it's a locking lug nut, and we couldn't find the key, and so we had to get that off. And when we were there, we found another box of MREs, so we picked it up there. Good morning, Mister Roy Joe Twilight Bradley Jr. And so we picked up some MREs right there. Ready to eat meals. Meals ready to eat is what it stands for. We did not like the little new packets that they've got in here, the little heating packets, because it didn't work. And so that was a disappointment. But this one is sweet and sour sauce with rice and chicken. This is menu number 5. And in a roundabout way, even though we bought from two different places, we got the exact same menu. So we got a bunch of the the sweet and sour, because each one comes with basically two of the same one in the box. So you're getting two meals that are the exact same inside the box. And so that's always a plus. I mean, but those can last for a very long time. And they've got a shelf life of about 10 years or so. And so it's all good. And we'll have radiation around for a long time, so we can always heat them up a different way if we got to. So what's going on out there, everybody? We are waiting for this weather to roll on out of here, and so that we can do some fun stuff on the back 40, and that's actually back 50. But you know, it is what it is. I did start my super secret project of the comic book cover, and it is looking awesome. And I keep teasing the owner of the comic company with little snippets here and there for his viewing pleasure, and it's been fun. It's already looking awesome. There's some new elements added that weren't in there originally, and so that's always a plus whenever you start adding in new stuff to the whole piece. And you watch it come alive, and I wish I could show you guys the aliveness that's happening with it, but I can't. It's secret. It's a super secret. It's going to start out as a digital piece, so I need your guys' help to go and purchase that digital comic book, and it will be issue 3 once again. That seems to be my lot in life. Um, to always be in issue 3 and not in issue 1. Oh, it's just the first comic book cover that I ever got on was William Russell's Psycho Sal #3, and this one is a different company, and it is issue 3 for this comic book as well. It's going to be a variant cover to the comic book itself, and I'm looking forward to it because it's already turning out like a killer cover, and I've just begun. Um, I mean, I've got until next month to have it ready, but you know, I want to get it done as quickly as possible and then move on from it so I can start working on these other pieces. Now, the other pieces I'm going to be working on will be uh, direct correlation with my Adobe Illustrator and possibly Photoshop in there, but this isn't the AI stuff because this is the older technology of Adobe Illustrator. This is CS4, which, if you know anything about Illustrator, they went to CS6, I believe, and then they started going to their cloud-based stuff, and then they moved over to their AI stuff, and that is not the technology I'm using. So I'm a little disappointed with Adobe or Adobe products in general, since they are relying on the AI algorithm and all of that good stuff. And the AI artwork hurts a lot of us traditional artists that still pick up a pencil or a paintbrush or whatever and rely on that for our living. Whenever these guys just tippity tap, do, 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 type in a few words, I want this, I want this, I want this, and then push the button, and boom, it spits out a logo or a piece of artwork for you that it steals from other artists out there in the world because it finds similar pieces that you're typing in from across the web and pulls it all together into one image. And sometimes it looks good and other times it looks like shit. But that's just how it goes with AI artwork. And there's always a constant debate about AI based artwork out there in the world. Give me a second, guys. Just reaching back here, grabbing this up so I can plug in my other microphone. Make sure it gets all charged. See that red light right there? See that red light right there? Yeah. But yeah, I have dual microphones. That's in case you want to guess, on your show. Which, if they come into my office, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Thanks for the likes. Um, because there's not a whole lot of room in here. But I'm hoping to rectify that later on in life as I redo this whole office. I need a climate controlled spot for all my comic books because in a secure spot so they don't get wet or ruined in any form, fashion, or another. But yeah, that's one thing I'm going to be working on is creating a storage space that has climate control, heat and air for the winter time and the summertime, so I can keep it at a constant temperature to keep my comic books from getting damaged or moldy. And most of them, 90% of them, are in backer boards and bags, but then I still have a majority that are still open right now that I'm still sorting through. Now, some of these are up for sale, so if you're interested, hit me up for what I've got. I have 7,000 comic books sitting here, and the majority of them are going to be put up for auction. So hit me up if you're interested. But how are you all doing out there? How's life treating you? What's going on in your world? Everybody's getting geared up for the draft, which happens soon. within the next 2 weeks, right? I think it happens the third week of April. I'm not exactly sure when the draft day is myself. Everybody's excited for UFL football as well, and then the Canadian Football League. Got all those happening right about now. There's probably some games being dropped today. Speaking of drops, the next Antarctic Press drops today sometime. And I'm looking forward to that because that means we get to talk some more Antarctic Press comic books. And maybe we'll see my own fan artwork in there because I sent him a piece after I sent him the link to my last episode. UFL, yeah, yeah, says Mr. Roy, Joe Twilight Bradley Jr. And so he asked me if he could use the artwork on the fan art page, and I was like, "Do it, man, do it." So that gets my name out there even more via Antarctic Press, and then my links to my YouTube channel um, have picked up due to the commentary that I'm giving about the Antarctic Press stuff. So that's exciting. So now my name will be out there even more. And but I look forward to it to see what he does with it and where it goes from there. So be looking for that piece and hopefully we'll be able to show it. I've got it down here and I can show it at any point in time. And that's the fun part of having the artwork in hand. You don't have to wait for it. But this will be in printed form. So that will be very, very cool. And I'm looking forward to that 100%. I'm double checking. Yep, bouncing. I still have bouncing Betties out there. But yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool, and to see your artwork in print form. I might actually even go find this comic book. Um, that it's going to be printed in, and I'm hoping that it is going to be printed in a Tomorrow Girl section, but we'll see. And it's always fun just to see your stuff pop up out there, especially whenever somebody tags you in it. That you always say, hey, if you tag it, make sure you tag me in the post, out there, and then you never see anything. Occasionally, you'll see a piece with your tag on it because it pops up on Instagram and things like that. And so you go look at it. And it's very cool how they've got it displayed and all that stuff. And then it's sometimes a year later or so, and then boom, you get a tag, and it's just like, well, I haven't done anything in a while. And so you go look, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember when you guys bought that. But yeah, no, it's always fun. It's always fun, and that's why I do a periodic search on eBay because with all the sketch cards I've done out there, art cards for different sets for Tops, Upper Deck, Viceroy, Dynamite Entertainment. Uh, there's a couple others out there that I've done art cards for. But whenever I periodically search my name on Facebook, boom, there they are. Now, some of them aren't the greatest of cards, and I'm really looking forward to the Puppet Master cards. Thank you for the likes out there. And I'm really looking forward to the Puppet Master cards that are coming out that are basically fulfilled, shipped to the customers, and now I'm just waiting for that explosion of art cards to show up on eBay. Those were some of my favorite cards to date. Now, some of my other ones were the last couple of sets of The Walking Dead that I did. Um, but some of the other ones were just rushed, and it shows. I didn't do my greatest work on them, and I should have taken my time. But when you're rushed because you have a certain deadline to make, you don't produce your greatest cards. Period. Now, when you have a longer deadline and they get you the cards early, and you can get started on them. Those look better all the way around. And so I am disappointed in some of the stuff that I put out in 2017. working on The Walking Dead and things of that nature. And I still have a couple of those cards sitting over here on my right. But excuse me. But when I started in 2017, no one told me what medium to use best on the cards, and so I was using some colored pencil, a little bit of ink, stuff like that, and they were some horrible cards. And you know, the next set, which hit, you know, either the same year, 2017, maybe 2018, it started getting a little better, but you still had to see what kind of card you were getting. Did it have a semi gloss to it that didn't take much wealth on it, or was it, you know, a thinner card stock this time? Was it a thicker card stock? Was it going to bleed back through the back side of the card? All those factors come into play whenever you're working on these cards. And you know, and let me just show you because I got them sitting right here. Everything from Stranger Things, Walking Dead, uh, Fallout. I did a bunch of Fallout cards, and this is my stack. This is just some of the ones that I've got still here. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. Let me get past some of these. That's Dawn. This is Stranger Things. If you don't believe me, there you go. Right there, Stranger Things. Congratulations. Right there. That's Stranger Things. This is Chaos Comics. Right there. Get past those, and then we get into The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Alright, this is my later set in life. I did about five to six different sets of The Walking Dead. And my very first set was right here. They used to put the name back here on the back. Walking Dead Evolution was what this one was called. Road to Alexandria, and the other two sets that I did, which I've sold out of some, but this was my very first set with Evolution. And I don't like these at all. I mean, this was not some of my greatest work. Let me just put it that way. This is Andrea from The Walking Dead. And then this is Beth here. Also, a fan favorite, even though they killed her off pretty early. Um, right there, Herschel's daughter with Maggie. And then we move on. Again, I don't have all my sets that I worked on. But we're going to put this. We're gonna put this right there. But then we move on to the next set, which I did a little better on. I'm not going to say I still did great on it, but I like this set a little better than the other one. That was Michonne. And then you got Abraham, another fan favorite that they ended up bashing right there. And then Herschel, the death of Herschel. See the sword across his neck from Michonne's own sword. And unfortunately, he did pass away. And then you got King Ezekiel and Sheba right there. All of these are up for grabs, by the way, if you're interested in any of these, period. Again, these all let go off cheap because these weren't some of my favorites. Now, my favorite Trister came with this lighter set, and several of these have sold already. But you've got Maggie here, so I like this set a lot better. Oops, let me try that right there. The blue indicates they're still alive. I got Mr. Negan here, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. But again, if you like any of these, let me know. you can hit me up for them. And then you got some dead characters. You got Tyrone, yeah, Mr. Tyrone, if you will. He was a fan favorite too, and I'm surprised they actually killed him off. But it is a TV show, and it is based off the comic book. And then you got Simon right there. So Simon, for those of you that watch The Walking Dead. And then this one was interesting. Fat Joey, Mr. Hooves. I can't remember what his first name is right off the top of my head, but he actually tried to help me sell this card on his site, on his Instagram and his website. But as you see, I still have it. Mr. Fat Joey, part of the Negan crew, just like um, Simon was back over there. But he actually loved this card and talked about it, several different ways that you could talk about it, and tried to get a lot of people to buy it, you know, help me out to sell it, but here it is still in my hands. But crap, I almost had it. I almost had it. But no, that one was pretty cool for him to actually talk about it and promote it as well on Instagram and everything else. And another set, which was Stranger Things with 11. Yeah, trying to trying to fit in, not have the bald head, wearing the wig, all that good stuff right there. Trying to get that glare off there. And then you have Will, the crying Will, if you will. Not the crying game, but Mr. Will. You know, he was the unfortunate one to have to go to the other side, the upside down. And then you got Hopper, your next Hellboy. And then 11 again. Still trying to fit in with that dress because she's a girl. And then you've got the Demogorgon right there. If you're interested in any of those, hit me up because they're ready for your house and not mine. We also have some chaos with some, and I had to change these because the ones that did make the set, make the cut for Lady Death or Chaos Comics, I had to change to Lady Demon because they do not own the rights, even though it is a Chaos Comics. They do not own the rights to Lady Death. That stayed with Brian Paluto and his Coffin Comics. So, you've got Lady Death here, one of the bad girls of the 90s comic books realm and run. So, if you like women with big swords and big hooters, there you go. This one was one of my favorites right here. And another one of my favorites is running around my house somewhere. I don't even know where the hell it is right this second. But I did a death dealer for myself, basically. And it's running around here somewhere. I wish I could show you, but I can't because I don't even know where it is. But thank you for the likes. Please like, share, and follow so that other friends of yours can come and view the area. Now, that was Chaos Comics by Dynamite Entertainment. And, or, let me double check my math. Yes, Dynamite Entertainment bought Chaos Comics and bought the majority thereof Brian Paluto's characters from Evil Ernie to Lady Demon, Purgatory, Chastity, Cremator, you name it. Everything that he had originally done for Chaos Comics now belongs to Dynamite Entertainment. And a lot of people don't like it as much as they thought they would, just because of the way that they handle it. Now, I wish Evil Ernie would have stayed in possession of um, Brian as well, but he was only able to keep Lady Death and go that route with her. So he's created a whole lot of new characters with the help of his creative team that he does pay via Kickstarter funds. So there you go. Now you got Joseph Michael Linsner's Dawn that's been around for a long time. This is the 30th anniversary of Dawn, deluxe ultra premium trading card set. So 30 years of Dawn, and this was back in 2019. So 2019, the 30th anniversary hit, and these were a couple of my cards for that set. Show you guys up here too. But another bad girl, if you will. And that's just some of the sets that I've worked on over the years and lent my talents to. So if you're interested in any of those, hit me up and we will talk. A lot of these will probably go pretty cheap, relatively cheap, because I've had them for a while. And since I'm not doing any conventions this year, those are some of my bigger draws that people like to see those. Thank you for the likes, Mr. Roy. People like to see those draws of the Topps Upper Deck cards and things of that nature. So, but you can always go search eBay out there and find those cards that I've worked on, because there's a bunch more out there. And there's some decent ones out there. There's some good Evil Ernie ones out there. So if you're into Evil Ernie, you can go find those and hit them up and get them. Because you could probably make an offer, and they'd probably take your offer just because they've been out there a while, and um, they've been floating around on eBay for a while. So you could probably get it for next to nothing. And then if you didn't really want to keep it, you could flip it and make a profit, I'm sure. Like I've seen some people do. Now, one of my highest cards that sold, which I wish I would have got some commission from, but I did not, sold for like 300 and something dollars out there on eBay. So that was exciting. Even though I didn't make that sale, they did, and so that's a good profit margin for them, because that got into a bidding war, and it sold for like 300 and something dollars, which was pretty awesome. I wish I could get into a bidding war with some of my ones that I've got now, and but maybe I will throw them on eBay. I don't know. Start on Macari or something, uh, where the fees are cheaper than eBay, but it is what it is. So what's everybody doing out there? I see Mr. Roy Joe Twilight Bradley Jr. is sending me some chilies. I appreciate it. Chilies are always fun. That's why I have them up there. He sent me some kind of a little bowl too. I'm not sure. Oh, a team bracelet. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. for that. All the stuff that you do out there, if you send me chilies or send me any of the other stuff that happens out there, um, that goes towards my supplies. It's not like I make a ton of money off of TikTok or even um, Facebook with their Meta, but all that money goes back into supplies so that I can keep the artwork flowing, going, and growing. And you're always learning too, so I always keep learning new things, because you don't want to stay stagnant. You don't want to stay with just the style that you're doing. You always want to do more, and so you know that's why I do what I do. I love doing artwork, and whenever people hit me up out of the blue, like just happened yesterday, um, it it makes it even more worthwhile, because you're getting recognized without being recognized. You're not even though I'm not the first go-to person for some people for artwork, I know I'm that first go-to person for a lot of people out there, and I didn't realize how many people would come to me first. And like I was talking about the weather, we have a severe thunderstorm watch for Sebastian County. It expires in 6 hours. So more weather moving through today, as we already knew. And like I said, we don't get a break from all this rain until Monday. And there's still a 20% chance of rain on Monday. So Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. is going crazy with that chili, but I appreciate it, brother. The chili man cometh. And boom, we just heard a big old sound from the chilies. He's almost there. He's almost to 100. I appreciate it, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. You are awesome out there, man. And it looks like we hit our live goal achieved. Thanks, man. And, you know, you always look for subscription goals as well. And get that out of there too. And the target goals are, to get subscribers because you want people to subscribe to your channel. You want people to subscribe to everything else. And that's why I have this links up here in my profile page. There's two different links up there. The second link is my actual website. You can go to the website and you'll see this 412 production logo that you see behind me. Not you guys up here. That is over here, right there. And from there, you can go to directly under that logo. You'll see my socials. You'll see Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, you're already here on TikTok, so you can like, share, and follow here. And then you can go to those webs or the socials up there and start subscribing to those or following those pages. That always helps in our endeavor to keep the artwork flowing, going, and growing. And it's just fun because I like to follow people back if I can. Now on TikTok, I've got to go through and find the dead people, the people that got banned or left TikTok for whatever, um, for whatever reason, political views or whatever they left over TikTok for, and 1,200 likes too. Well, I appreciate you telling me that, buddy. Hopefully, we end up with that close to 3,000 that we normally have here on our show. Yes, we hit about 3,000 people that I talk to on a regular basis every other day, and so hopefully we can get up to that point. It's been a little low here the past few uh, live broadcasts, but it happens. I get it. Not everybody is showing up and supporting the channel, man. But hopefully you do like, share, and follow. And again, I do appreciate the likes. Those are always fun to see. The hearts popping up, and I am like it to, and I'm sure it tells everybody this in my category that I'm you're number one in people with similar categories. And I'm sure it tells everybody that whenever they go live and they have their category set to, fandom or things of that nature. So, but, I get to see my live analytics after the show, and it's always fun to see who all has stayed the longest and who gifted what and who liked the most and who interacted the most with the post. So, always fun. Now, to get my 3D printer up and running, I need a mail to mail USB because for some reason they do not have like a HDMI cable or anything like that to attach to uh, the printer itself, the 3D printer, and so I've got to go find a mail to mail USB, which I didn't think would be that hard, but apparently Walmart does not carry them. So I've got to go get a special one off of Amazon, and then I've got to wait for it to arrive. And unfortunately, I should have done this a long, long time ago when I bought the freaking printer, the 3D printer. But I've had it sitting here for basically nearly 2 years, 2.5 years, and it's never even been ran yet. So that's a fault of mine, a procrastinator, if you will. Just like my comic book, it's sitting there idle. My own comic book is sitting there idle because I'm working on other projects. I'm working on other people's comic book covers. I'm working on new logos for people. I am working on two projects that, you know, I might not get paid for just because they are for an awareness program that's happening on the 19th, which is a Saturday. And it's just like all this stuff coming in at once with a potential two other commissions out there as well. Um, it's like it halts progress on my own stuff. Yeah, I get a lot of work done via artwork that I'm working on. And again, thank you for the likes. And I appreciate all the guests that are stopping in that normally don't stop in, that have their own live shows that they possibly are doing right now or getting ready to do. So, like Harley here, that's awesome to see her here. I watch her show quite a bit, and so all the artwork that I'm doing, it stops me from doing my own projects, which sucks, which 100% sucks. Uh, don't get me wrong, because I want nothing more than to get my own product out there. That's why I'm working on my own comic book, and so with that, I'm 18 pages in on my book one of my 4 issue miniseries. And once I get that written, then I've got to start working on book two, book three, book four. And then once all those are written, then I'm going to come in and illustrate them all. Yes, I'm doing it all. I'm the creator, I'm the writer, I'm the illustrator, I'm the inker. Now, the book is probably going to end up being black and white, 100% on the inside. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to do some special pages that are in color. Just because, I might have some splash pages or some pin-up artwork or things like that that are done by other artists or even done by myself. Um, because I'm going to have my own cover for all the books. And then I'm going to be bringing in 3 different artists to do a cover for per book. So there's going to be 16 covers to the entire 4 book run because 4 covers per book. Because the 4 issue miniseries, 4 books, 4 covers, 4 variants, one standard, which will be mine. That's not what you guys think it is. And then the 3 other artists that'll go around it as variant covers. Um, and so I'm looking forward to it because I want to showcase other people's artwork out there. I want to be able to bring new talent that somebody might not have seen yet out there, and boom, here they are, you know. And this could be their first cover gig. Just like I started out as a first cover gig with Psycho Sal with William Russell. And I want to present that opportunity to somebody else out there. And there's a lot of talent out there that I'm looking at. And I've already got probably 6 people in mind right off the top of my head right now. And so I am looking forward to working with them in the future. Now, when is that going to happen? I fucking don't know. Just because I don't even know when this is coming out. That's the big kicker. I don't know when it's coming out. I've got to get it written. I've got to get it started in artwork. The pages done, and then I still don't know how many pages it's going to be per book. And thank you for the likes out there. Um, and and so is it going to be 22? Is it going to be 24? Is it going to be 28 pages? I don't know yet. The pages will dictate as I write them. Like I said, I'm 18 pages in, so that means I'm either 6 pages away or 4 pages away or 10 pages away. I don't know yet per book. And each book is going to dictate what and how many pages are going to go into it, if that makes sense. It's not always just a, well, this one, well, not every one of them are going to be 22 pages. Not every one are going to be 28 pages. You know, it could be, this one could be 22 pages. This one could be 28 pages. This one could be 26 pages. And the last one could be like a 48-page book just to get everything in there and tie the whole book together. Or I could take some of those works and tie them into the other pages and be like, okay, so now we're at a 30-page book per comic, and then we've got a 48-page book for the last one, which puts the story, you know, all out there and shows the passion behind it all. And thank you for the TGIF uh, stuff out there, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. You're awesome. I appreciate it. And it's some kind of a little award trophy. Something I don't even know what the hell that is, but I appreciate it, buddy. You're awesome. And so once that's all said and done, and I've got all 4 books, no matter what the page count is in it, and I'm hoping to find some sponsors. I seriously want some sponsors um, that I can put their advertisement in the book, or you know, special recognition to, you know, those type things. And that's what I want for my website. That's what I want for going forward into the world, back into the comic book conventions. I'm looking for sponsors, and you know, that way it helps offset the booth cost. It helps offset hotel rooms, and then the food and travel will be all on me. Um, but you know, if you've ever been to a comic book convention and set up as a participant in the event, you know how pricey it is, because your booth rental could be anywhere from $100, depending on what show you're at, up to $1,000, depending on what show you're at. So you're already down $1,000. Just say you got a corner booth at a bigger event, it's $1,000. There, boom, you're already down $1,000. So you're already having to make that up in sales. And then if you don't have a hookup like I do for a hotel room, you'll be my roadie. Well, come on. Um, if you don't have a hookup for the hotel rooms like we do, then you're paying that $145 or whatever it is, depending on the hotel room that you're going to stay in, and that's per night. And generally, it's a 2 night stay most nights, because you get there on the Friday to set up, so you're there Friday night, and then you're there Saturday night, so that's 2 night stay. So that's another 300 and something bucks out of pocket. So now you're at $1,300 that you have to make back at the show just to break even for going to the show. And that's not including the food on the way there, while you're at the show, and the travel for gas or any upkeep that you need in your vehicle, like the changing your oil, new tires, you know, all that stuff that goes into it. So you could be sitting at close to $2,000 in the hole before you get to the show. And so that's why I need sponsors that can help offset those costs. Because any sponsor that comes in and says, "Hey, we'll donate this much money to you as long as you put our name on, you know, your stuff here, um, social medias, your website, things of that nature. Um, we will help pay for, you know, this. We'll help pay for this. We'll help pay for printing cost of your comic book." But that's where Kickstarter comes in. But you've got to go above and beyond that Kickstarter price, just because um, they take a percentage anyway. So You've got to go above your target goal 100%. And if you don't even meet your target goal, then everybody gets their money back and or their pledge back, and you just go on with life. And you cry about it, you sob, you go to your closet and put your thumb in your mouth and all that shit. No, that's not going to happen here. We're going to keep pressing forward until that book gets printed. And so, it's there's a lot that goes into even going to a comic book convention. That's why I'm looking for the sponsors. I'm looking for those millionaire sponsors out there, that can't afford this. It'd be like, oh, this is just a tax write off. It doesn't matter. We're not losing anything because he needs $500. Well, that's easy. That's like a quarter to us. Here you go. Here's our quarter tossed to you. We're a millionaire corporation or individual, and we're gonna help you out. You know, and so all of the money that's coming in for logo work, for commissions, for all that stuff goes into its own little kitty, and so it sits there deciding what I'm going to do with it. Oh, I've got to pay a bill. Okay, there's that money right there. Um, Boom, done. Just like this $600 bill that I'm getting ready to pay for this stupid um, roll off dumpster that I wasn't expecting. Boom, I've got that money set aside. So here you go. And yeah, that could have been going towards the new prints that I'm working on, the new canvas prints that I'm working on, those type things. But it's not. It's having to go towards a stupid life bill for here at the homestead. And I'm still trying to think of a good name for my homestead. And I'm pretty sure I might have a name, but I've got to pass it by some people first. But no, I do appreciate everybody stopping in, checking out the channel, even if it is for a brief moment to see what we're talking about, to what we do here. And if you want to see the logo, I'll get out the way. And there you go. You've got the logo. 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson, my little alien logo that Mr. Roy Joe Twilight Bradley Jr. has named it Monty Jr. right there. And um, you know, I'll take that name for it for my alien. Um, and think my comic book. Think of it. It's gonna have aliens, Bigfoots, um, pixies, trolls. Uh, April 24th, Thursday. So it's not the third week; it's the fourth week. Okay, and it goes for 3 days: the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Now I don't know if they've gone to a fourth day, like they're proposing a additional day for additional games added to the NFL to make it a full 18 game schedule. But they could push it into 4 days, but normally it's 3 day draft. So there you go. Thank you, Mr. Roy Joe Twilight Bradley Jr. for that. And why do I say Twilight with his name? Because the dude loves Twilight. I cannot stand Twilight. I hate Twilight. Vampires do not sparkle in the sun, they explode in the sun. So they sparkle for a hot minute when they're caught on fire, but there you go. But no, I am looking for sponsors. So if you want to be a sponsor, hit me up, and we'll talk semantics and details. Um, what you want to receive. You could receive some free artwork, if you're a sponsor. And there's all kinds of good stuff that we can talk about. I've got to look at more sponsorships to see what people actually introduce out there when they get sponsors and things like that. Because generally, whenever the people get sponsors, the sponsor is, you know, saying, "Here's my logo, use it, and we're paying for stuff for you." Is how I've seen it done. Um, because it's just like sponsors that people get for the fishing tournaments or their rodeo or their gymnastics or whatever else out there that people get sponsorship for. Their name goes on it, on the products. Your name would be splashed in all my comic books. Your name would be on my table with my table cover. As long as you're my sponsor, you're going to be everywhere. So, uh, just think about that. If you're a multimillionaire out there, come, come, be my sponsor. But I appreciate each and every one of you being here, checking out the channel. Thank you for the likes, the shares, um, and all that good, cool stuff that you guys do. You've hit some target goals today, tons of likes, tons of followers right now, tons of people joining the show. We're probably close to 2,000 people on the channel right now. I'm not 100% sure on that, but normally we hit about 3,000. So, you know, we we try to give some good entertainment here by sharing life stuff like the weather. We talked about the weather because I don't get to work in my garden until sometime next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, and that's when the rain stops here in Arkansas. We are in tornado season. We've already seen here in Arkansas several big EF3s and EF4 tornadoes tear through some towns. So be in prayer or good vibes for those people because they have been devastated. There's whole towns that have been wiped off the map right now, and due to these tornadoes, they're moving through the areas right now. And I know it's not just here in Arkansas. Oklahoma gets them too. That's where I was born, bred, and raised. Um, and I've lived through several tornadoes. And only by the grace of God did I make it out of some of them, like the big 2005 tornado that ripped through Del City, Midwest City area. I was within probably say 75 yards to 50 yards of the tornado, the mile wide tornado that tore a huge mile stretch through Del City, Midwest City area. And I was watching it in my rearview mirror as I was heading home. So they let us out of work early, and due to that tornado blowing through. And so, well, thank you, buddy. Thanks for checking that out for me. He said I'm at 3,000 likes right now, which means I'm a little over 3,000 probably at this present juncture, which is awesome. Talking to 3,000 people all at once. But I know some of them aren't still here, um, just because I know I see how you guys do it. You know, some of you are only here for a short hot minute, a literal minute, because it tells me it rats you guys out. And now Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. needs a splint on the thumb. And I've got some splints here, buddy. You can hobble on over and get you a splint, and we'll wrap up your thumb and go from there. But no, I really do appreciate each and every one of you stopping in, checking out the channel, and being here for real life stuff. We don't talk politics. We don't talk religion. Those are the two subjects that are off limits here on my show. Just because those two subjects seem to make everybody lose their damn minds. And just go look at Facebook, go look at TikTok, go look at Instagram, go look at any social media platform out there. Um, you're gonna find those subjects, and so that's not what we talk about here. So if you want that talk, go somewhere else, cause it ain't happening here. But I appreciate you all. I really do. You guys are great. You make the show fun, and it's talking my own work is what gets me super excited because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I should have started a long time ago, but I didn't know which direction I wanted to go in because even in the '90s, which some of you weren't even born then, I get that. In the '90s, I started working on characters. I had all these aspirations and dreams and to be a comic book artist back in the day, and so I started creating my own characters and started writing the comic, and then just stopped. It was just like, this is too much work. This is too much this. This is too much that. And now all I've got is free time. 100% free time for the most part. I have animal chores to do on the homestead with my chickens and ducks. We did get rid of the goats. It was a bittersweet day that day, but um, they weren't doing what we wanted. We weren't doing them for butchering. We weren't doing them for this or that and the other. We were going to have breeding stock with Finn and Flora and keep selling babies every 5 months or so. Um, and we were hoping to get enough milk out of Flora to do soaps, lotions, cheese, those type things, but she didn't produce enough. And so it was best to let them go. You know, it's not what we wanted to do, but it was best for the homestead. So we're going to keep with our chickens and our ducks. And like she said, if we do revisit ghosts, we're going to try and find the pygmies that only get about like this tall. You know, literally about yay tall, the size of a chihuahua or a small dog, and go from there. But we'll see, because we should have got a dairy goat in the beginning, and then we would have had, you know, the the milk for what we wanted, for the lotions, for the cheeses, and for the soaps. Because we want the homestead to be profitable, just like with the egg sales that we do. And it's just like everything else, the artwork, the egg sales. So I'm going to be building a kiosk up front, out by the road, that has the fresh eggs, the fresh produce, all that stuff, signs all over it. And you'll be able to pay Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or cash right there, because I can have straight line of sight to that booth, so I know if somebody's trying to break into it or not. Nightly, the money will be taken out, so it will not be sitting in there overnight. No, and there will be a sign: "No money stays in here overnight." And smile, you're on camera, because it is under camera view as well. But we want to be as profitable as possible, especially in today's economic society, if you will. And all the money goes back into something. Like all the egg money goes back into chicken food, or bedding for the chickens, or an upgrade to the coop, or something like that. You know, because you want to keep them protected, you want to keep them safe, and that's why we're putting them in a whole new area. But then the whole new area has spots that they can get cover under. There's going to be the trees that they can get underneath, that won't be able to be seen. Batman says Indianapolis is in shambles. I was going there to visit friends, and I saw a building upside down. Was that because of the storms that have blown through there, Batman? I don't watch the news much. I mean, I see bits and pieces of things here on TikTok or on Facebook, that where friends of mine live, and because I've got friends in Indianapolis, and so yes, it is because of the storms. Now, I get that. I mean, that's why I said, there's lots of people that need your thoughts, prayers, good vibes, whatever you believe in, and want to send their way. Please do so, because there's a lot of damage going on all over the world right now. And right now we're in tornado season here in the Midwest, Central America, and tornadoes are ripping through all kinds of places right now. And apparently they're hitting Indianapolis as well. And so be in thoughts and prayers for those people, because some people have lost everything. Um, what they can salvage out of their shambles of a home, or whatever, that's all they're going to have. And they also saw a stop sign ripped out of the ground from a tornado. Yeah, yeah, tornadoes are pretty powerful. Like I said, I've been through several in my lifetime, being from Oklahoma, and you know, to see the devastation that it causes is just amazing. I mean, it sucks 100%, but it is amazing, the power of just wind. As it picks up speed, picks up steam, um, and and just to to witness it firsthand when you're looking at this thing. Some people don't get that close. They don't. As close as they get is seeing it on TV. But I've been within 75 yards of a tornado. I've been within, probably even closer than that. Probably about 25 to 50 yards of a tornado. You know, like I said, growing up in Oklahoma, we saw them all the time. And growing up, well, not growing up, but being here in Arkansas, see them all the time. Other states don't get to see them as often, but they do hit other states as well. Texas, Louisiana, Kansas, Missouri, Indianapolis, even Florida, Alaska, that has seen them. You know, and so it's just amazing the power that is behind them, especially if they get up into the EF3s, EF4s, EF5s. Um, I mean, one and twos do enough damage as they're on their own, but not as bad as a three, four, or five. And he's watching the news right now, and they're expecting a level 5 hurricane and then a tornado, which isn't good. 100%. I mean, unfortunately, that's the season we're in when all of your weather is cooling, heating, upper stratospheres, all that stuff. Don't get me talking about all that because I don't know all of the terminology for it all. Um, I just know that right now is the perfect mix for tornadoes, hurricanes, all of that fun stuff that we have to live through, being in certain areas of the world. And if you're in Hawaii or on a coast somewhere, you have to deal with the hurricanes, and then to deal with tornadoes on top of that, that sucks. you know. But here in the Midwest, in the central part of the United States, in that that swash right there, you have to worry about all the tornadoes on a regular basis, and sometimes you have two, three, four tornadoes drop in the same area on the same day, and Batman feels bad for Indiana, and I get that. It's devastating to turn on the news, and that's the stuff that's popping up. Is you've got tornado this, tornado that, tornado tore up this town, tornado tore up this area, tornado, everywhere. And right now, this is the worst part of the season for everybody. So again, just being thoughts and prayers for those people out there, and the good vibes, send it that way. And if you can donate to the the proper charitable cause out there, or if you know someone directly that's there and that they've lost, something, donate to them directly. I would say bypass the the Red Cross, or certain things where we know money doesn't actually make it to the people. It goes into the organization itself and into the coordinator's pockets. So if you know someone's affected, and I'll be hitting up some people that I know out there, and see if they're okay, um, then donate directly to them if they have the capability. Even if you have to write them a check or get them a cashier's check or a money order and send it to them direct. Um, because sometimes the money that's earmarked for them does not go to them, which sucks all the way around. There's no ways around that. But yeah, if you do know somebody that's been affected by all of this, then please, just help them out directly. Um, if you want to figure out how to get with an organization, um, I'm sure there's all kinds of websites out there that will help you, lead you in that direction. So you feel like Indianapolis is probably the worst place to be when this weather is happening. Well, I mean, it just depends because uh, some of the northwest Arkansas areas were devastated this past week, and past couple of days, where they're showing nothing but the foundation left of somebody's house with all the debris everywhere. And, they've got nothing but, splinters where their house used to be. And and it just depends on how you look at each situation as you see it on the news. Um, because if you're in that area or close, or I'm not even sure where you're at or located, but Indianapolis is one of those weird places that can get down to -5 degrees, and all that good stuff during the winter months, and December, January, February, those type things. And and then you see the tornado damage that they get. Now, if you're here in Oklahoma and Arkansas, you unfortunately every time you turn on the news here now, uh, so he's right below Indianapolis. So you're close. So if you were watching any of the news here, you'd be seeing the same stuff um, where the tornadoes have just wiped out entire towns. I mean, the town doesn't exist anymore because it's gone. They have to rebuild from the ground up, including the post office. You know, and we're seeing that right now here. I think I'm trying to remember what town it was, but the only thing you're seeing is nothing but debris. Uh, yeah, I mean, and that's true, but you can't be prepared for a tornado um, because a tornado is very unpredictable, unfortunately, and it could be going one direction 1 minute or a second, and then boom, it's going another direction. So the path that they were predicting it to go on isn't going that way. All of a sudden, it just diverted, and now it's going a completely different way. So those people that are sitting there watching it in lawn chairs are now having to scramble to get what they can and run the other direction away from the tornado. And that's the bad thing about a tornado is that you don't know which way it's going to go every second. They try to predict it, and that's why they send the storm chasers and all the stuff that they do with all the little balls that go up into the tornado to try and figure out the path of the tornado. But they're just so unnatural, if you will, that the path that you think it's going to take isn't where it goes. And now you guys are built for your snowstorms that happen in Indianapolis and the cold weather. But yeah, no one's prepared for tornadoes. Period. 100%. And you think you're prepared for them, and whenever you hear the tornado sirens, you wonder where it is, and because we have tons of tornado sirens here in our towns, and just because we're in Tornado Alley, so he doesn't know why, but where he lives is a little bit worse right now because we have all of that. Yeah, no, I get that, and you guys should be out of the cold weather, right? 100% out of the cold weather. I think. I mean, we're getting a couple of cold bouts right now, where I can't even put my plants in the ground that I've got in my window, just because Sunday and Monday night the temperatures are supposed to drop down into the 30s. So um, that should be our last potential freeze right there. You're currently in the aftermath of winter and blizzard. I feel for you. I do because I've been there. Um, it wasn't this time of the year, but it was earlier in January, February, and it sucked. -5 degree temperatures walking to the convention center, you know, and so yeah, I get you, I feel you, and so everybody send your good vibes towards Batman's way in the Indianapolis area, and you know, just be in thought and prayer for those people there, because I mean, just like here in Arkansas, up north in the northwest Arkansas area, um, and central. I mean, pretty much all of Arkansas, Oklahoma areas, and Indianapolis right now. Yeah, me too. I wear my shorts and t-shirts when it snows as well. But I get it. I totally 100% get it. I don't like wearing long pants. The long pants suck. So excuse me. And I will put a hoodie on or something like that with my shorts and my combat boots. Being ex-military, all that good stuff. But yeah, no, it's this is the season right now that everybody needs, to be aware. Watch the skies, not for UFOs, but you can watch them for that too. but just be prepared, or as prepared as you possibly can. That's why we've got MREs, in case something were to happen. We've got something to eat, you know. But no, it's this is just the bad time of season, and it always is around this time, especially here in Arkansas, Oklahoma, uh, North Texas, Kansas, Missouri, just the places right around here. And it's just not something you can prepare for 100%, but you can be prepared, 50%. Because if you've got a go bag, or, a food ration area, like if I wanted to, I could put my MREs down into my storm cellar and, you know, put put water down there, which I've already got some water down in there. We've already got some blankets and some candles and some flashlights and things of that nature. But we could do all kinds of things, and drop that down into our storm cellar, and which actually came with the house. I didn't put it in, and it's just how the weather is here. It's a very unpredictable. So just be in thoughts and prayers for everybody that's getting affected by all of this weather, um, from the tornadoes to the hail to hurricanes coming up next, and we're going to be seeing and hearing about those on a regular basis. I mean, I've seen plenty of TikTok stuff and Facebook stuff that shows the tornadoes that people were filming and all that good stuff. So just be in thoughts and prayers with all these people that are being affected by these storms right now. And we're not done yet. Like I said, we our storms are predicted to go till Monday here in our area, and and then it should be a quiet time after that for a little bit, and then we'll get back into some more weather, because weather ain't done. And we'll be wishing for some of this weather when it comes summertime. That's for sure, especially here when we're temperatures are creeping up to 100 plus, you know. But yeah, at least it wasn't like Afghanistan, 120. But it was a dry heat. It was a dry heat at 120. So, until you got down to Jalalabad and places like that where there's lush water and trees and things of that nature floating around. So the humidity creeped back up at those point in times. But again, I appreciate each and everybody being here, checking out the channel, and chit chatting with us. It's always fun to have special guests like Batman show up, and all of that good stuff. But I am going to leave you for now. I've got some other stuff to take care of, and it's been fun. It's been a pleasure talking to each and every one of you being here and chit chatting with me about my comic book, about life, the weather, and those goody good stuff that we talk about. But you all have a great day. And as I like to say, as I leave you to go about your business of your day, and hopefully you have a great day. We will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.